The badass comic anti-hero from hell, Spawn first appeared on the comic scene in 1992, and since then it has become a worldwide phenomenon, and people have been waiting for the day when he will appear on the big screen. Although there was a movie back in 1997, the Spawn reboot has been one of the most anticipated movies of the past decade. So, without further ado, let's take a look at this movie. Spawn is an anti-hero created by the legendary Todd McFarlane, who has become the biggest comic book artist ever due to his work on many other comics. In the early 90s, McFarlane decided to create Spawn, which was based on a character that he made up when he was a teenager. Spawn, also known as Al Simmons, was a US Marine who joins the CIA when he gets betrayed and killed by his superiors. He was then sent to hell, but Simmons manages to strike a deal with the demon Malebolgia, where he will become a Hellspawn, and he will return to Earth to become a powerful supernatural entity. However, upon arriving on Earth, Simmons manages to lose all his memories, except for his name and the fact that he died. He goes on a journey to rediscover himself, followed by many unfortunate adventures along that path. Spawn is one powerful being, but that also comes at a cost. He does indeed have a weakness, one that each time he uses magic, it depletes a finite resource. Due to this, Spawn is forced to rely on his military training to fight off anyone that comes his way. So, now that we know his story and what Spawn is all about, we were wondering how it will all translate into a movie. According to Todd McFarlane, who will act as a director on this Spawn reboot, the movie is definitely happening and has been in the works for long years now. For the past 2 decades, people were waiting on Todd to finally make this movie happen the way it should be done. Since such a movie was made in 1997, Todd took his time to perfectly create the story of the reboot, making it as perfect as it can be. He aims to write and direct the movie himself, although we aren't sure if he will do both those things on his own, but more on that later. This time around, McFarlane has a plan to make a hard R-rated feature of the Spawn character, which is a hard thing to get people interested in, but he believes that the story deserves it, and it will only make the character even better. After the success of the R-rated movies such as Deadpool and Joker, it only made a positive effect on this upcoming reboot movie. We are certain that this movie will happen eventually, and Todd has all the plans ready for this movie. We guess we just have to wait and see when this movie will be released. Hopefully, we will get to see this movie in the next 2 to 3 years. Speaking of the release of this movie, you might have to wait a bit longer. We know we've all waited 2 decades to see this movie, but to this day, nobody knows when exactly we can expect this movie. McFarlane has been trying to make this project happen with numerous teasers throughout the year, and still no news about a possible release date. According to McFarlane, progress has been made on this movie, and he's quite positive that this movie will finally happen in the following year or 2. Right now, the movie is being discussed, so we could get a 2023 release date if everything goes smoothly. At one point, back in January 2019, the movie was scheduled to begin with production, but it was quickly shut down. After the huge success of Joker, the idea of bringing another R-rated comic book film to life has managed to strike an interest in the studios. Allegedly, Spawn has been in development since then. At this point, we can only hope that nothing will delay this movie any further, and that we will finally get the amazing adaptation of this character, the one he deserves. We believe we waited long enough, and after over 20 years, we can finally have high hopes for our favorite anti-hero. Since the rumors of this movie began to spread, it has been known that Jamie Foxx and Jeremy Renner might be part of the cast of this movie. This was all rumors at that point, until Foxx was actually cast as Al Simmons or Spawn, and he even confirmed the excellent news himself, as well as the producer Jason Blum. Foxx has been wanting this role for a long time, and he even said to McFarlane years ago that he's ready to play Spawn, no matter whether he'll do the movie or not. In the 1997 adaptation, Michael J. White was the choice for Simmons, and we can't argue that he was an excellent choice. But we believe that for this version, Foxx might bring more charisma to pull off such a crude and hell-bent character. The same year when Foxx signed to play Spawn in 2018, Jeremy Renner also signed the role of Detective Sam Twitch, a detective who investigates all the cases that track back to Spawn. McFarlane is super excited to have Renner as part of his project and has praised him as someone extremely talented and devoted to his job. So far, we only have these 2 names attached to this movie, without any other possible cast members. we will for sure hear other names in the future, possibly when the movie has an official release date. It's hard to tell what the plot of this movie will be, since there are a lot of stories to be told about Spawn. We assume that it might show his origin story and how Al Simmons became Spawn, as it's told in the comic book. However, we do believe that we might see a new villain against Spawn. Apart from the origin story, how he died and how he was brought back on Earth, we would see the detective as he tries to connect all of the cases when all of them point to the direction of Spawn. It will definitely be a new and exciting storyline, and we believe that McFarlane will bring us nothing but amazing attention to detail since he is the artist behind the comic book. This gives him a great advantage to elevate the character and bring it to a whole different level, one that the character hasn't been on in the comic books. We expect various interesting twists and turns to make for an even better story. It will have more human characters that will slowly get tied up in Spawn's supernatural activities. According to some, Malebolgia, the demon, might make an important appearance, but we've yet to see who will portray her and what her role in this movie will be. We already know that Todd McFarlane is the main person behind this movie, the one that will eventually make it happen. But for a movie to happen, you definitely need an entire crew that will work with you on the movie. McFarlane has already written the script and will act as a director for the movie. This will be the first time McFarlane will direct anything, becoming his directorial debut. It will be made by Blumhouse Productions, which are known for making low-budget horror movies, such as Get Out and Split. Since Spawn isn't set to be your typical superhero movie, Blumhouse is the perfect fit for it. And also, they only have a $10 million budget for making this movie. While McFarlane has written the script for the movie, there has been a different person assigned to rewrite and deliver a screenplay. Brian Tucker has been assigned as the newest addition to the movie, as a screenwriter. According to McFarlane, he only has a few demands for this movie. The first and main one for this movie is to be R-rated. He said that he doesn't necessarily care if the story will be perfectly told, he only wants Spawn to appear cool and badass, and completely deliver the image he has of Spawn on the big screen. On a related note, we wanted to know, what do you expect to see in this movie? Let us know in the comments section below. If you'd like to see more amazing videos such as this one, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.